I knew something was wrong the second I turned onto my street. My gate, the one I always made sure was latched tight, was standing open. The porch light, which I never left on, glowed like a warning flare, and when I stepped closer, I saw the door frame, scratched, scuffed, pried at like someone had tried their luck with a crowbar. My stomach tightened, but I already knew. It wasn't a burglar. Burglars around here didn't waste their time with my place. No, this had Karen written all over it. The HOA president, the self-proclaimed queen of Brookhaven Estates. What she didn't know was that I wasn't her only problem that night. My dog Max was home, and Max wasn't the type to welcome intruders with cookies and milk. When I first bought this house, I thought I'd found peace. After 2 decades of construction jobs that had me living out of motels, I wanted quiet. 1-story brick house, a wide porch, space to grill, and most importantly, space for Max. Max wasn't just a pet. He'd been trained for K-9 police work, but he'd washed out for being too independent. To me, that was perfect. Loyal, sharp, stubborn, the kind of partner you could count on when the chips were down. We'd sit out on that porch at night, him at my feet, ears twitching at every sound, and I thought, this is it. Finally. Home. But home doesn't stay peaceful when there's an HOA, and worse, when there's a Karen running it. She introduced herself like she was royalty. Deborah Miller, president of the HOA, bright red blazer, crocodile smile, handshakes like a vice. Within a week, I had 3 friendly notices in my mailbox. Trash can visible, temporary flag, and Max, God forbid, barking at the mail truck. I laughed at first. Then came the first meeting, and she made me the star attraction. Called me out by name, said my dog was a public nuisance. Half the room looked embarrassed for me. The other half looked relieved it wasn't their turn under her spotlight. I cracked a joke, said I'd have Max write an apology letter, and she didn't like that one bit. Her face tightened. Her voice snapped. Right there. I knew she'd marked me as an enemy. From that day, it was like living under surveillance. She slowed her walks past my place. Phone out, scribbling on her clipboard. I caught her peering through my fence, pretending to check shrubs. Once, I opened the door to find her measuring my driveway with a tape. Routine inspection, she said with that fake little smirk. I told her flat, step on my property again without permission, and I'll treat it like a break-in. She flinched. But the thing about Karen, she doesn't retreat. She doubles down. And double down she did. Fines for a mailbox, half an inch too tall, for a porch light bulb that wasn't the approved shade of warm white. The kicker, the $100 citation for unauthorized decor, which was nothing more than a small wind chime my late wife loved. That one cut deep. I stuffed the letters into a folder, building my case. But also, yeah, I'll admit it. There were nights I sat at that kitchen table, folder in front of me, wondering if it was worth it, wondering if I should just sell and move, start over somewhere without a tyrant patrolling the sidewalks. She had power. She had the board in her pocket. And me? I was just a guy with a dog. And that's the part I don't want to gloss over. I had nights where I felt powerless, outnumbered, humiliated. I thought, maybe she's right. Maybe this place isn't a good fit for me. Maybe I was the fool for thinking I could live in peace. That doubt crept in heavy, and it nearly crushed me. But every time I looked at Max, sitting alert at the window, calm, steady, I remembered why I stayed. Because bullies win when good people pack up and run. And I wasn't about to teach Max that his job was to back down. The breaking point came when I had to leave town for a 3-day job. Normally, I boarded Max, but this time, something in my gut told me to leave him home. I double-checked the locks, told my neighbor Jim to keep an eye out. "She's bold," I warned him. "Don't be surprised if she tries something." He chuckled, said, "Good thing you've got Max." I looked into Max's eyes before I left, ruffled his fur, whispered, "Protect the house, boy. Don't let her win." He gave me that one heavy thump of his tail, like he understood every word. The first night. Jim texted. She snooped on the porch. Max barked. She bolted. The second night. Lights on inside. Max raising hell. My chest tightened. By the third night, I got the message I dreaded. "Pretty sure she went inside. Saw her slip through your gate." Max went silent after that. My stomach dropped. She'd crossed the line. I drove like a madman back into town, headlights slicing through the dark. By the time I hit my street, the sun was sinking. That eerie twilight glow draped over the lawns. My gate stood wide open. The porch light was blazing. The door was cracked. And then I heard it, the shuffle of papers inside, and a deeper sound, low, vibrating the walls. Max. I stepped in, and there she was, Karen herself, hair frizzed, blazer wrinkled, rifling through my drawers like she was raiding a crime scene. And between her and the door stood Max, rigid, coiled, eyes locked, a growl in his chest that made the air hum. She froze, flashlight trembling. "Good dog," she stammered. "Nice doggy. I'm just here on official business." Her voice cracked. I almost laughed. Official business. In my living room, with my dog pinning her in place. "Go ahead," I said from the doorway, voice cold. "Call the cops. Let's see who they arrest. You for breaking in, or me for living in my house." She spun, pale as chalk, mouth opening and closing. She tried to puff herself up, said neighbors reported suspicious activity. She had authority. Max stepped forward once, slow, deliberate. She backed right into the coffee table. Outside. Shadows gathered. Neighbors pressing up to the windows. Phones out. Recording. Karen finally realized she wasn't just caught. She was cornered. I told Max. "Sit." He dropped instantly, calm, disciplined, eyes never leaving her. That control made her shake even harder. "He's dangerous," she squeaked. "No," I said. "He's disciplined. He hasn't touched you, has he? He's just keeping you exactly where you belong." Neighbors whispered outside. Phones zoomed in. Karen's voice cracked. "Turn that off!" But Max growled when she jerked her hand. And she froze. The humiliation was eating her alive, and she knew it. Finally. I called Jim's bluff out loud. "Already dialed 911. She panicked, begged neighbors not to call. And right there, she admitted guilt in front of everyone. She knew she was finished. When the squad car pulled up, the crowd split like it was the 4th of July parade. 2 officers stepped onto the porch. Daniels, a cop I knew, looked inside, saw her, saw Max, saw me. I gestured, caught the HOA president trespassing in my living room. Max held her till I got back. Daniels's brow lifted. He asked her, straight. "That true?" She tried spinning it. Said Max was dangerous. She was inspecting. Daniels cut her off, cold. "You have no authority inside someone's house. That's trespassing." The crowd outside erupted in murmurs and laughs. Cameras flashed. Her power, the clipboard, the threats, it all crumbled in seconds. They escorted her out, Max shadowing her every step, until I called him to heel. Phones caught every angle. The HOA queen stripped of her crown. Marched off my porch under red and blue lights. Daniels asked if I wanted to press charges. I thought about it. God, did I want to drag her through the system the way she'd dragged so many neighbors? But I looked at her, face ashen, eyes hollow, and I knew the humiliation alone had cut deeper than jail ever would. I told Daniels, not tonight. Her reputation's already in shreds. He nodded. Fair enough. But he took my folder of letters, said it was evidence now. That was the night Karen's reign ended. The videos spread like wildfire. By morning, half the neighborhood had clips online, set to dramatic music. By the end of the week, a petition to remove her swept the community. Over 2/3 signed. At the final board meeting, she sat in the back row, small and silent, as her title was stripped. I laid my folder of bogus fines on the table and told the new president I'd hand it to my lawyer unless they made things right. Every fine was voided. A formal apology was sent to every resident. Karen stormed out before the meeting ended, muttering about conspiracies. But it didn't matter. Her power was gone. I think about that night sometimes, the moment I walked into my own house, heart pounding, and saw her frozen between the growl of my dog and the weight of her own arrogance. She thought she was untouchable, the law of the land. But she learned the hard way that power built on fear collapses the second you face someone who won't back down. And funny enough, it wasn't me who broke her. It was Max, calm and steady, just doing his job. The lesson? Bullies only win if you let them. Stand your ground, protect what's yours, and never forget, true strength doesn't come from a title. It comes from loyalty and courage.